advancing into the ERP space, and this is the Devo protocol. What this project looks to do, it looks to redefine the ecosystem of volunteering and philanthropy. And how do we look to redefine that? Well, one of the big problems that we see in the current ecosystem of philanthropy and just giving in general is a lack of trust, right? A lack of transparency. As a donor, as a giver, I would love to know that the monies that I give to a given cause actually reach the intended purpose, right? And unfortunately, that's not often the case. Well, I shouldn't say often, but it's not always the case, right? And so what we are aiming to do with our new protocol and our new project is really shed some transparent light on the entirety of the transacting between the giver and the receiver of funds, right? So we've created a protocol called the Devo platform, the Devo protocol, that allows volunteers, volunteer organizations, donors, and corporate sponsors to all transact in this ecosystem that we've created using cryptocurrency, a Devo token, right, that powers the ecosystem. So philanthropy is a $2.3 trillion industry, right? And that's a lot of money floating around, right? And there are a lot of organizations that claim to, to be impactful, right? And what we want to do is we want to bring transparency. We want to bring truth, right, in philanthropy. A lot of current day events are shedding a negative light, in the world of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So we're looking to really be the liaison that really facilitates trust in the philanthropy sector. So how are we doing that? As I said, we've created this platform, the Devo protocol, that takes volunteers. It rewards volunteers for their volunteering efforts. It records their volunteer hours on the blockchain. Oftentimes, individuals are in need of providing proof that they've performed X number of volunteering hours. So our platform allows that. At the same time, it allows donors to transparently give to various projects, and the funds are dispersed to the recipients by way of escrow smart contracts. And without getting overly technical, these smart contracts are built. The funds are locked in the smart contract and they're released on a milestone basis. So at the completion of a given milestone, right, the donors are notified that the milestones have been completed. They now have the opportunity to go in and bear witness that, yes, that milestone has been completed to my satisfaction or not. And if they say it's not been completed to their satisfaction, then they have the option of requesting more proof, more evidence, or they ultimately have the option of saying, you know what, I don't like the project. And then they have the ability to request a refund of their donations. But again, all of this in the name of transparency and trust, right? So again, it uses blockchain technology. It uses smart contracts and whatnot. So it's really removing the trust of an individual or an individual organization or whatnot, and really putting the trust in the technology. So that's what we're really excited about. So we're passionate to the degree that we're focused on that. We're introducing that to our ERP ecosystem. And so we're really providing a platform where all these parties can come together and seamlessly transact, seamlessly interact, and everything is fully traceable from everybody's aspect. Everything is fully traceable by way of the blockchain, which is a public record. So any and everybody can go and verify and validate that corporation did what they said they were going to do. The volunteer organization did what they said they were going to do. The donors are confident that their funds got distributed to the intended recipients of their giving and whatnot. So it's really very impactful. So we're super excited because we're building a platform that's going to allow people to feel more confident. And once you feel confident, once you feel trustworthy that a mechanism is working to the degree that it's supposed to, then you feel confident in using that mechanism. So again, our protocol, we feel, is, I don't want to say the ultimate, but we feel at this moment in time, it really is the primary way that we feel that this age-old problem of truth and transparency in the world of philanthropy, we feel that that's going to be the best way to chip away at that and provide some transparency. So it's a global project. It's a very large undertaking, but we've got a lot of backing. We've got a lot of good partners that have jumped on in support of our project and whatnot. And so for the most part, that's what really excites me when I wake up, and it keeps me up very late because there's so much to do in bringing this to fruition. So it's really super exciting. But that is, again, our way of giving back, at the same time allowing people that would otherwise want to give back and participate in this giving endeavor, a platform where they feel confident that if they in fact do participate, then their participation will not be in vain.
Yeah, that's really pretty cool because, like I said, part of our mission is giving back, and we know who we give back to. But as you said, is it really going to where it's intended? Because the transparency is only what they've told you,
Exactly.
not what you see.
Exactly.
And so that brings it to a whole different level. And it's really exciting because what you've basically done is you've taken where things weren't, you created them to where they needed to be, and now you're adding another layer of what's now what they're calling Web 3.0, right?
Yes.
And I do have some knowledge because I know exactly what you're talking about. I participated at certain levels with a bunch of guys who are working on similar projects, not necessarily in the philanthropic space, but creating transparency in tokens for doing the same types of things. And it's where things are headed. It's where things should be right now. But, like you said, until people really understand or want to understand, it takes a little bit more time than I'm sure you or I or others that are proponents of this transparency really would love to see it, have been done yesterday, but it'll get there hopefully long before tomorrow. So
I fully believe, and as long as I've got breath, coming out of these lungs of mine, I'm going to keep spreading the word, right? It's a passion project for me. It really allows the giving back, which I believe that there are more good people in this world than bad people. We've, unfortunately, good kind of takes the headlines. I'm sorry, bad takes the headlines and casts a negative light on the good intentions, right? And so, again, in my evangelic endeavors, really, it's all about just spreading the word and just really sharing knowledge. Because once people have a good understanding of what's real versus what's FUD, right, then they're in better position to make decisions that are going to be impactful. And so that's, again, where we stand. And again, I'm kind of on this tour, right, to just kind of continue spreading the knowledge, just spreading the word, and just really just kind of being a conduit between the Web 2 and the Web 3 space, right? One of the things that we're looking to do is make this seamless, right? There's a big cliff of distrust, lack of understanding, as we've already talked about. And so how do we move this project forward, right, with all that distrust out there? Well, again, making it seamless, allowing the players in our ecosystem to really play without having to have any degree of understanding about what Web3 technology is about, right? Because it can be frightening, right? It can be a big hairy monster looking at you, right? If you don't understand it. So typically you just want to avoid it, right? And so we want to kind of humanize it, make it a little bit more friendly. It's not the boogeyman. It's something that, once used correctly, it's going to really help bring positive change in a number of disciplines, right? Not just in the world of philanthropy and volunteering and whatnot, but in a number of disciplines, right, where we can bring trust and transparency. I really believe it's going to change the world from many angles, many aspects.
Yeah, so cool. I mean, things today are moving so much faster than they used to. I'm sure you remember the days of when we used to hear you've got mail, right? and now it's like you've got the internet in your pocket, and it's and so I think the adoption and the understanding today, especially because I think the younger population actually does understand this a lot better than some of us older folks. So it takes us being hit over the head a few times, right, before we really get it through our skulls. Oh yeah, you can do things that way, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, transparency is a big problem. And like you said, you always hear about the bad before you hear about the good, and there's a hell of a lot more good. But
right.
Good doesn't sell.
Right.
Media,
right.
Bad and hate sells media. So
yes,
unfortunately, we're stuck with that for a while until the world decides to be more transparent there too. But one of the favorite questions that I like to ask everybody I interview is, What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? And if you attribute it to somebody, who would that be that you attribute it to?
Wow, that's a great question. And I'm going to go ahead and just really bring it back home to me being a little kid and my mother telling me that, you know what, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you got to keep getting back up and standing up for what you believe in and keep pushing it forward. Right. And so I've been taught that since I was a little toddler. That's still top of mind today. Right. You just got to keep going. If you believe in it and if you're passionate about it, keep going forward with it. You're going to hear a lot of no's, right? But when you do hear that yes, right, it's going to be huge. So just have faith in yourself, have faith in whoever, whatever you call your God, right? Whatever light leads you, right? Just continue to trust that light, trust yourself, and positive things will happen.